Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So apparently there's this thing called the shut up ring. If you're a guy today and you've ever proposed or bought a ring, have you ever bought a woman a shut up ring? What I'm understanding it is basically a ring that you give to a woman who won't stop asking you for marriage. So you just give her the ring so that she shuts up. We have a chick here describing the moment she realized that she was given a shut up ring. It gets crazy because she actually married this man and shortly divorced him after he married her. We'll talk about that later. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
I'll tell you when I realized that I had been given a shut up ring, and it's probably not what you expect. I realized the first few weeks of our marriage, like literally right as soon as we settled in together, settled into married life, I realized we had made the wrong choice. Because I'd spent so much of our relationship wondering where it was going, because we had this like long impending long distance with no end in sight. I wanted commitment. I wanted to know that there was an end to this and that there was going to be commitment at the end of the road. And that's what I thought that I needed. So that held me through, the engagement, the proposal is what kept me thinking the relationship, it's going to be better when. It's going to be better when we move and we live in the same place. It's going to be better when we're married. And lo and behold, after the wedding, when the dust settled from all the wedding bliss, nothing was better.
All right. So what you guys are going to notice based on what she said and what you're going to see in the comment section is that there are plenty of women who, after 2 weeks into the wedding, some of them on the wedding day were like, this is the wrong decision. If you're, especially the ones on the wedding day, why didn't you say something? I'm convinced that any chick who agrees with this or has gone through this just wanted the ring as validation. Maybe has never been married, and all she wanted to know was if she could get a man to marry her, and that's it. Money wasted. She got what she wanted, and what was that? Wedding photos, validation from other women saying, oh my God, she looks so beautiful. Now it came to the work and she's out. Let's keep listening.
And I wasn't any happier. And that was a huge learning moment for me, because that's when I really realized that whole, you can't control other people. You can't change other people. You can't force someone to be the person that you need them to be. And I guess for a long time, I thought I had accomplished that because I had convinced him to marry me and I had convinced him to put an end to the long distance. But yeah, as soon as the dust settled, I realized that the ring, the proposal, the marriage, the wedding, none of that changed anything. We still had all the exact same problems that we had before. It took about 2 years for us to kind of live with it and for our marriage to fall apart. And towards the end, trying to salvage it, that's when I feel like all the shut up moves started happening, when I was saying, I'm really unhappy. I'm thinking about maybe potentially getting a divorce. Let's maybe separate for a while and get some time apart. And that's when, I needed to tell me I'm pretty. That happened for about a week. I needed to buy me flowers. That probably happened once or twice.
So you're telling me this man was doing these things? Sure, you're going to minimize it. Now that she said 2 years, bro, think about that. 2 years. And then she said 2 weeks after the wedding, I realized that it was wrong, but you stayed for 2 years. He's doing what you want him to do. She believed that the marriage would make her happier. Listen to me, fellas. There's no way you could be watching this stuff, wanting to find a woman in your life later on, and you're not in Brew Brothers. There's no way, right? Because this is a risk. These women are out here and they exist everywhere. All this chick wanted, I am convinced, was the validation, like most modern women, of marriage and not the actual marriage itself.
I needed to go to therapy. We talked about it, but it never actually ended up happening. Then towards the end, I was just so exhausted with everything. I was so exhausted that, I wasn't really as convinced by the shut up moves as I had been previously. And that's when I started really paying attention to his actions. I didn't care that I got flowers one time. I needed to see if it was going to become a regular thing, or I needed to see if I was being complimented or being showed affection or being told that I was loved. And I just realized it was done a few times and then it just got completely forgotten about because things were better. When I realized those things were never actually going to stick and they were never actually going to stay around, that's when I decided that I was done. Anyways, I'm Monica. I share my mistakes in life and love so you don't have to make the same ones. Okay, love you, bye.
Chances are she's loose. She's loose looking for her next victim. I hope you got a good profile of what she looks like. Run fast, not slow. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment here says, my mom always says weddings and babies fundamentally change nothing in a relationship, but add more stress. So let me get this straight. Till now, Women are convinced that weddings are going to fix the men who they're with or the relationship. They're not. How many times do they need to hear that they're not? Stop. I don't get what needs to be said here. Why do people get into relationships and marriages thinking it's going to be a fix to their problems? Somebody else responded and says, yep, you better be working off a strong foundation with these things. Here's another person who says that there is no one worth having that you have to beg for. Somebody else here added, never fall in love with potential or the fantasy you've created in your head. You have to take a hard look at exactly who is in front of you and imagine that if nothing ever changes, is that good for you? I think I remember reading a quote one time that says, women get into relationships and marriages hoping a man will change, and men get into relationships and marriages hoping a woman will never change. Truth is, we all change. And you have to accept that both are true. And the things that usually change aren't the things that we want to change. It's work, man. You know, I mean, is someone more compatible than someone else? Yes. You know, there is that. Somebody else here added, it's weird to say this, but I'm so happy I had a toxic relationship early 20s because it made me realize what I deserve in life. And now I'm engaged to the most wonderful man ever. And I'm incredibly thankful, I'm assuming she says. Somebody else here added, this is why I feel like you have to live together before marriage. What? Just hoping it'll work after long distance is such a gamble. Okay, I guess I see what I don't think you have to live with the person per se. I think people want to play house and they want to observe every single situation and think, I want to observe this person in every single situation so that I know we'll be able to not have any problems that won't be impossible to overcome. But that's not the way things work. You will have problems that seem impossible to overcome in life in general. That includes marriage. So approaching life with there is somebody out there who I will never have a situation that seems like I don't know how I'm going to get through this is just being irrational. Somebody else here says, I'm 31 and single. Divorce talk is making me appreciate my high standards. Thank you for sharing this. The praying emoji. Somebody else here added, after ending 2 engagements. Again, 2 engagements. This is a chick who's probably also complaining that she can't find a man. I learned not to be so focused on the outcome of proposal and marriage. Somebody else here, a chick says, moved in with my boyfriend in March and moved out in 2 weeks. The crying emoji, it'll be better when never works. Now I know. The other person who says, I realized I made a mistake the day of when we were getting married. Guys, think about this, please. When they were getting married, the day of the actual wedding, she shows up, dress, groom is in a suit, tux, everybody there. She's thinking in her head, this is a mistake. As a man, I'll ask this question because I'm curious. Would you rather she saves you the embarrassment of doing it in front of everybody and ruining everybody's day, and maybe even saves herself embarrassment and dislike or whatever, and tells you after the wedding? Or would you rather she actually tells you on the day of the wedding so that you don't follow through with the wedding? I mean, to me, this seems cowardly. What do you guys think? And as a man, should you do the same thing? If you're at the wedding, the actual wedding, on the wedding day, and you have made it in your mind and you know, because a part of me thinks this lasted 3 or 4 years, right? Their marriage. And then a woman always tries to look back and go, I always knew it. I knew it on my wedding. But let's say it actually is true. Would you rather she is honest on that day in front of everybody who's around and you both take the consequences of that? Or would you rather you guys just fall through, save face, and get it over with? I'm curious, comment down below. She goes on to say, my body was shaking. No, the whole time. So she was shaking. Ladies, pay attention to your intuition, she says. Somebody else here added, I realized I made a huge mistake after 3 days into the marriage. I didn't want to admit it, though. Yep. Took me so long to admit it myself, really, she says. Of course, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Listen, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.